think I'm perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. It's just perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm perfect.
Alright, whoever took the last cup of coffee, you're going to want to make some more. This morning we covered the politics of the Vanduul. In relation to that, we will continue on to the next subject, Society of Baba Yaga. Through the study of Vanduul bodies and ships, a few things have been learned. First is the intrinsic importance of the knife. When on all the bodies, an ornate but functional knife was discovered. These knives were handmade and unique to the individual, leading researchers to believe that it was a maturing token. Maturing tokens are common in primitive hunter-gathering tribes of human history, so we have some relation, usually in the form of anything from physical items to scars and brands and even to a renaming of the individual. These are all ritualistic tokens of the individual coming of age. With the X-12's plethora of intact Vanduul, we were able to learn more by matching recommended bone structures in the hands of the Vanduul. We were able to match them to the tools and processes to create their own knife. In other words, this token is not given, but is created by the Vanduul in question. The second is that the Vanduul status is dependent on what he acquires. While studying the swarm and horde-like nature of the Vanduul, we can see actions that are bred from competing scavengers. This is akin to a hyena pack.
What's a hyena?
What?
Sir, I was wondering what a hyena was.
It's a canine species. They have them at the zoo on Terra, though I'm told they aren't exact. Something about DNA splicing. Anyway, Moby after class. In that, the pack competes with each other for scavenged goods. In the Vanduul's case, resources. As we study the physiology of the deceased Vanduul, we find that most Spartan of the Vanduul, those with little personal items and few implants, seem to be the ages of 13 to 14 years. The X-12 was full of iconography of the knife and blades in general, with rooms almost reminiscent of chapels or temples. This information shows us how prominent the knife is in Vanduul culture, their society, and their psychology. A Vanduul starts their life with nothing, and as a token of becoming an adult, is tasked to create a knife that will last them and serve them through their warring career. After completion, the individual then chooses a war party. These war parties compete for members based on the amount of resources and the strength of their vessels. Their ability to prove their skills means they will attract more Vanduul young that are capable of better and better feats. From this, it is surmised that these young Vanduul gain notoriety and status through personal gains and resources. The status is presumably also tendered at an unknown central location for the rights and ability to choose, or be chosen by, a mate. While acquisition of resources is important to the status of the Vanduul, it's not a society of gluttony. Observation in the activities of Vanduul posit that they only visit an area when they are low on supplies that specific area has. Otherwise, small raiding parties are used to travel, finding merchants and outposts, raiding them, gleaning technology and items that teach the Vanduul about the race in question. This is supported by the evolving nature of the Vanduul's raids against and target acquisition. Due to the orphaning of the young, it is not believed that any hereditary transfer of resources or influence occurs in Vanduul society. Another interesting social trait is the claiming of trophies. They're generally grouped by culture. The importance and the exact nature is unknown, and a few samples of this behavior are observed, so no inference can actually be gleaned at this time. While major portions of Vanduul ship are bare tan iron, many rooms have been found to be individually decorated. One such room, apparently for recreation and exercise, was adorned with pink flowering trees. Another room had a stained glass imagery of knife that resembled the one that the captain used. Up until the coming of age, it is theorized that Vanduul males spend their time learning how to be self-sufficient and of the important choices that led to great status and gain from their ancestors. In closing, Vanduul society is a more complex and nuanced subject that can be summarized based on the few interactions we've had. While most of the information presented here is speculation, we continue to observe the Vanduul and learn more about the intricacies of their society. Much of this information may possibly change with new evidence and information. Alright, that's all for today. Next, we begin in earnest as we start covering TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures. I've got one announcement for today. We begin our observance of the Tiber II Memorial. We have a 3-day weekend. All common areas will be accessible for those 3 days. Minimum staff will be on duty. Hey, see your section leads for weekend assignments. Dismissed.